All right. Well, I am back streaming. I am looking forward to this. I hope I can get back into the swing of things fairly easily. I rearranged my setup a bit. I'm in the same apartment. I'm on a new corner of my space, though. So had to adjust a few things. I'm hoping things are smooth. I'm giving myself a nice easy day today. Nothing crazy going on. Just have this idea about kind of slowly trying to chip away at improving my Emacs setup a little bit. I have a template that I want to try to get working for Clojure projects, and I have a new idea as to how I want to approach development this year. Got to push hard this year for a lot of things, so even though I'm going easy today, stream side of things, it's probably good that I get a few things in place if I can and just see how things go. So that's the day, nothing crazy. Just getting used to this mentally again after a break and seeing, if anyone comes into the chat and talks and all that kind of stuff, I'd be happy to have that go on. Anyway, let's see here. I've got like 3 keyboards in front of me right now, so I gotta get used to things again. I am really proud of this drawing I did. Let me erase this here. This bonsai tree looks pretty good, in my opinion. This was a fun little thing I did during the break. I've been getting back into drawing a lot more, and I really like it. It is always a really satisfying hobby of mine. It feels good to actually use the pencil on my iPad a lot, that kind of stuff. It's just nice. I encourage you, if you're, looking for new hobbies and things like that. If you don't already, just get into doing some drawing. It's a lot of fun. You don't have to make anything look good either. You can just draw doodles and random lines. Like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can always just be random fun lines. And it's, in my opinion, a really relaxing and satisfying hobby to get into. Anyway, enough about that. I'm here to do a little bit of programming today, so I'm going to switch on over to the proper windows here. If I can remember. Okay. I've got my Emacs. So we're in the right ballpark. I'm going to clear my desk up just a little bit more. One of the hard things is I don't have a good webcam yet. So I stream from a Dell XPS laptop, and they have, their webcam is in the bottom left corner because they don't have a bezel, so they can't put it at like the top here. It's not a great setup. I probably just need to buy a webcam, like an HD webcam. It wouldn't even be that hard to do. I just keep forgetting, Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, though. I will leave this. Let's see here. Oh. What a mess. That's okay. Let's do this. All right, so I've moved the computer over to the other side of my desk, so the angle might be different now. It might not be like a good spot for my head. So if anyone notices that and has an issue with sound or visuals of any kind, my face isn't actually that important to the coding, so not a big deal, but feel free to point any little things out that need to change. I am willing to listen. Okay. I wonder actually if I should have. Well, that's no good. Then I can't see my own screen. Oh my goodness. One day I'll have like this amazing stream setup, this perfect dev workplace, all that stuff. But in the meantime, I have to kind of make do with a bit of a slapdash effort, but it's better than nothing, really. It really isn't that bad. I also just thought of something. Maybe I could do this a little bit, kind of shift the screen this way. I don't know what I'm doing. Clearly I need to rethink this even more than I have, but that is totally fine. All right, enough of me messing around with things. So what I'm doing, or what I'm going to start doing anyway, and just see how things go for a bit, is I'm going to mess around with this here skeleton mode, and I already have. So actually, if I could find where I've worked on this here. So here I have some work in progress Emacs Lisp stuff. Another language I don't know that well. I figured it's a Lisp, so it wouldn't be too hard to transfer some Clojure knowledge to elisp, which is relatively true, but there's still things are still a little slow on the uptake, but that's okay. I don't need to do anything crazy. I do have this here as an example, and I have this website here that I can use to kind of help me piece together a skeleton. But what is a skeleton to begin with anyway? So I'm going to execute this, and now that's a function that, don't need that. That is now a function, hello world skeleton, that I can run with mx hello world skeleton here. And now it prompts me here, type name of user, and if I type Adam-James, there we go. It inserted into the document here that part of the template. So it's really simple. You can change that, right? There we go. Right, so in this hello world thing, it's trivial, but it's also maybe use a little bit of proper, well then. And so if I just run the same thing again, oh, see, it also just inserted it right here. It doesn't automatically do the, like I have to reevaluate. I have to reevaluate the code to update it. Obviously, that's not too surprising. That makes sense. Random person. Hope you're having a good day. There we go. So there we go. You can just change the text that you use here. You also can, I believe it just prints whatever lines you've got. Including empty lines. If I could type properly, that might help. Concludes the skeleton input. Okay, so let's try that now. Sorry, still not the most adept Emacs keyboard shortcut user. I get so used to working in org mode with the particular setup that I use that I forget some of the basics, you know, which is a kind of a weakness sometimes in using these programs this way. You learn like the surface level of what you absolutely need, and then what you want to be able to do. You kind of figure out these workarounds sometimes, and it's hard to discover sometimes better ways of doing things. But anyway, that's a whole other thing here. So let's not worry about that. Let's insert this again here. So if I run it again, it's Todd. What's up, Todd? Hope you're having a good day. Okay, so right. So in fact, you do have to pop new lines in there, new line characters, I suppose. So I have to do probably this, right? Let's try that. We'll see. In fact, this should even be like that. I think that makes sense. So let's save the file and execute that. Oh, wrong. There we go. Let's paste, or let's run it here. There we go. Okay, so the new line character is needed and it'll print those lines out as you go. So what you can do with this is create boilerplate things that you can put in and templatize different things, which I've already done a little bit here. So there's two things here. I did not create this slurp function. I found it on Stack Overflow, which I noticed I've forgotten to put the link here. So there we go. A little note to myself there. This is just messing around. This is not actually part of the code I'm trying to work on, so it's no big deal. The basic idea is I have the template function that slurps in a template org file that I have in the same folder, and then use that as the basis for skeletons. So what I've got here does already work. At least, I mean, work in some loose sense. So actually, I'll open up the template as well, just so that's there as a reference. Geez, sorry. I am fumbling my keystrokes here quite a bit, so that's just my bad. Templates. Let's do lib.org. So lib.org is the template I'm working on just as a basis to get it working in general. But the idea is to have a few different org templates basically all set up to go so that I can make Clojure libraries and Clojure/Clojure script apps. And eventually I'll find need for other templates, perhaps. The reason I want to do this at all is mostly because I use Emacs org mode to write all my code in one file, and that gets tangled, that gets output into proper code structure for a Clojure project. So I could use lean, like the lean and default Clojure project management stuff, which is definitely a good idea. The only idea here is this is a quick start, get things going nice and rapidly with the kind of project management structure I want to do in Emacs. It's certainly not meant to replace like a proper tool like Lean or the CLJ deps.eden stuff. That's not the intent. In fact, here this org or lib template that I'm working on has all the boilerplate stuff in there, and this here is a string that I replace with the title of the project, and it just has, so obviously, you know, this is in the template here. It's just got some basic prompts for some documentation to write. It has a test namespace and a main namespace here. Oh, this also is not, I don't know why I have that in there. That's not really supposed to be in there. In fact, here I only have Clojure script, test check in there. So I suppose I shouldn't really have any. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The template I can improve as I go, right? But I suppose I don't really need this in it at all. Maybe there's some core libraries that are always good to import, like string as s or something like that. Actually, let's do that as some basis, right? What is it again? Clojure. string as s. I actually don't remember, but let's try to find out for a moment. Do I have any REPLs open? I do not. Let's deal with it later then. Oh, wait, I know. I'll just skeletons. Okay, here. Let's do CLJ. And I'll just try to run that very briefly there. Don't know why that. Oh, I'm running that in a project folder already. It doesn't matter. Let's just do Clojure dot string slash I don't know what let's see here. Clojure dot string. Let's just check some web documents here. Yeah, okay, I am correct. So here, I'll just try to run that just to confirm here. Blank. True. Okay. Okay, now I'm in the same folder. So let me actually think about, let's remove ASDF, get that out of there, remove deps and readme. This is actually, ooh. I don't need the source library. That was actually, nor do I need test. I must have tangled an org file in that folder, so it automatically built the folder structure there. I don't need it there, so no big deal. All right, so that's fine. This is a little confusing, I guess. I'll leave it for now. Anyway, so the only thing this basic template has is some things I want to pull in it as defaults that get tangled into deps.eden. I will eventually build out some, default setups here, which I don't know what's more. I don't know. That I'm not going to worry too much about it. It should be okay. README has just the string here, and that'll be the title will be placed there. All of these things are just the basic layout or skeleton, as it were, of a simple project, and all this stuff I'll fill out properly as I'm developing the project for real, right? Basically, it's just anywhere that underscore string underscore exists in the document, it gets replaced with the name of the project. That automatically, like I could copy and paste this whole thing and fairly quickly change it manually, but if I have a thing that'll do it automatically for me, that's obviously easier. So that's the goal. That's really the only goal. So I'll leave that open here just as is. But there's a few little things going on with this here. So this template function takes a file, f, not a function, it's a file. Maybe I should just write the whole word out there just so I don't confuse myself. Replace like that. That seems good. So this is where I actually don't know proper or like common and typical formatting and approaches with elisp, right? So I'm kind of guessing a little bit. Again, this is just for me, so it's not a big deal. But probably would be good to get it quote unquote proper, But that's okay. Let's have a quick peek here. All right. All right. I don't need this open. I can kind of close that, get that going. Right. So this template here, this function takes in a file and a replace string, which I should actually do that properly. Then it turns out that there's a library called Dash that I happen to have installed already for Emacs. Presumably it's installed with one of the other plugins that I have installed. I honestly, I don't know where it came from, or maybe it's built in now. I don't know. It's hard for me to figure out exactly where to go for the most up-to-date and useful information on Emacs and elisp development. But that's more because I'm new to it than because it's bad. I just don't know. Anyway, just like in Clojure, they have thread first and thread last macros, which is really helpful because it makes things, in my opinion, quite readable. So, what I have here should work as is. I'm going to delete this line in a moment. But basically it does this. It takes, first of all, there's let lines be the split string result of slurp of the function. Or pardon me, slurp up the file. So slurp the file basically gets a string that contains the whole file, including new line characters and stuff like that. So split string splits the string from that comes from the file, which I know is, it's this template as a string, and it splits on new lines. I could split it on any other character, but new line is obviously what I want here. And then each line, or pardon me, the sequence of lines then goes through map this lambda function, map this lambda concat, which dash concat is from that dash library I was talking about earlier, and it nicely just it's basically apply concatenate. So you can give it a list of strings and it'll concatenate the strings together automatically. And then apply, wait a second, I might have that reversed from this concat. Anyway, I will go through this in just a moment to actually see what I did earlier. But running this in this directory will actually produce the result I want. So, or mostly will produce the result I want. There's a few things that I don't know how to fix yet. But let's evaluate these so they're all they're all compiled and accessible. So if I run mx Adam James project, it does ask me for a project name. So let's call this one example. There we go. It does properly put in everything from the lib.org. Oh, did I not save this? Oh, here's the problem as well. When I save the template, it has some Tangle stuff built in. So there's a few little things here and there that are kind of silly of me. But in the interest of a little bit of progress, I'm going to ignore that issue for the time being and keep on going. Anyway, so let me undo that in this spot. Ooh, oh, we're good. We're good. Okay, so that's saved. Tangled, whatever. I do wonder if I just run the project again, will it properly pull in any updated things, or does it only do it once and it's kind of cached? Because that actually might be a bigger problem. Okay, it pulled in the updated thing there, so that's good. Right, so it is working as expected, except for a little weird thing here, where what I type in when it prompts me ends up being pasted into the main text here as well, which I don't want. And I don't quite understand the reason for that. So I'm going to try and poke around with that a little bit, because it might be good to figure out. But it basically works as I want to. But let me try it on a new project here. So let's make a new... Let's actually go to the Scratch buffer, try it out in there. Okay, so what I want to do is run Adam James project. It'll ask for a project name. We'll call it example. And then this is where I run into a problem already. So opening input file, no such file or directory, users Adam org lib.org. So I guess I need the full file path in order to make this work the way I want to. So I'm gonna give that a shot. I think it could be fine. Yeah, I'll give that a shot because it might not be a big deal. So that would be right here. I basically need this to read as home directory, dev templates, lib.org is the skeleton template I'm considering at the moment. And I'll just re-execute that just twice to be safe. I don't know why I did that. I don't need to. Oh, let's also delete this because that's actually junk. Okay, save that. We're good to go there. Now let's try run it again. There we go. Okay, so that worked with the full file path, which is really, that's the biggest issue that I had. So now I can save it to dev/example/example.org. And then it'll ask the directory doesn't exist, create. Yep. And if I tangle the 4 blocks of code, if I now navigate to that spot, if I list everything here, it has the deps Eden, example.org, readme, which has example as the title, like I would have expected. Source has example and main.cljc, which is exactly what I want as well. And there's a test example main-test.cljc as well, which is perfect. Ooh. Except I think actually this is actually wrong. This main test has to be main, not dash test, but main_test. It's supposed to look like that. I'm pretty sure that's true. I can't remember though. Let's see here. Clojure, hyphens in namespace. Let's see. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure you do have to save the file name with an underscore. Let's see. Maybe this has something here. So file names lowercase stored in a directory to match the namespace. End in CLJ. Makes sense. My.special.namespace. Yeah. Functions are dash separated. That's good. Ah, here we go. Someone said it here. Someone named Brian. You must replace hyphens with underscores in file names. Namespace A-B/C-D must be an A_B C_D. Okay, So that's not a big deal. Except I do wonder maybe if it will cause some issues later on. So let me, oh, that's not what I wanted to do, but doesn't matter. So remove example, we're good. Let's open up the lib template and fix that little bit right away. Main underscore test. Save that. Tangled the blocks again. See, another problem, but I'll get that one. I'll solve that later. So there's other things that probably should be added into the template. Once the workflow is working, then I can improve the template further. Some things are obviously maybe have some more substantial defaults built into this stuff so that there's even less that I have to manually do every time. I don't know what all of that'll be necessarily, but I might want something like spec as well. I don't know. I have to experiment with that over time, right? So it should be okay, but those are on my mind. I will eventually have other template files. So there's lib, there will be app.org, there might be, I don't know, CLI.org, proto.org. I don't know. There might be other useful approaches yet to put in there. And basically, they'll just kind of mimic the most common lean project calls that I might end up using, with my own little customizations in there just to make my own workflow better. So really, this approach might be useful for other people, but the exact templates are almost certainly only useful for me and how I've set things up in my own brain. But that's just the way that a lot of this stuff goes anyway. So here might be to do or admin as well, right? So roadmap, bugs. I don't know. I have to think about it. That is the moral of this story. Okay, so the next thing I do want to try figure out a little bit why it doesn't work the way this does. So here's the issue I run into. If I define skeleton, Atom, project, and project name to use in the template. If I try to build this out the same way this hello world is built, I run into weird issues, but I'll try it and see what's going on. Type the project name. There we go. And now here, what I want it to do is actually just run this function template with the value that gets that you've input into there. So I would think this is my first idea, was to just call template with oh, sorry, I do need to code in the file path. And instead of v1, it would just be str, which is the default binding. If you don't set q to this v1 variable that's available, if you don't set it there, it basically implicitly sets the string input into the variable name, or the symbol, sorry, string, which you can just plop in the rest of your skeleton. So I would think that what I would have hoped that this would do is you get the string value from the user's input, and then it runs template function, loads that template, and runs it with the input the user provided. But now, so it compiles that project, but if I try to run it, invalid function set q string skeleton read, type the project name nil nil. So I don't quite understand what's happening there, but I haven't looked too thoroughly at it, so it might just be me misunderstanding how to properly build a skeleton function that uses functions in it. So we'll just have to see what's going on. Skeletons and abbreviations. So to be honest, I actually don't know what this arrow means, so maybe I should figure that out. I don't think it'll change the operation of this particular, yeah, still invalid. Right, so if I just comment this line out entirely and replace it with another valid line here, that is, you typed string and then end it there, right? That works. So you might see why I'm a little confused as to why this didn't work, but it might be related to the order of evaluation of S expressions or something. It's not related to abbreviations because I don't have any abbreviations programmed, and there's nothing related to that going on. Repeated input. So it might be kind of related to this sort of structure here, where, so this is the doc string. I don't know why, but this prompt is ignored. And then this is run repeatedly until you exit the skeleton. So let's try that. Okay. So it looks like it runs, it fully calculates an expression or a line until it hits the variable string, and then it asks for input at that moment. So this shouldn't work either, but if I put in, this is ignored, right? Maybe if I do that, this doesn't feel correct, but I also, there. I don't know if this actually built. I don't expect this to work. Invalid function. Oh, wait, what if I did it this way? What if it's all on one line? No, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me either, but I mean, why not? Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a try. Right, so what I think is kind of going on here is I think, no, I don't know what's going on. It almost works, but not really. I had this idea. I wonder if this will work and not print extra characters that I don't want in there. Let's have a look at that. So, Adam James project. Let's go. Nope. Symbols function definition is void nil. Well, okay. I'm going to get a coffee for a minute. I will be right back. And then I wonder, I might be misunderstanding a few different things. I'll go maybe try to be a little more thorough with this. Let's get rid of this and get rid of this and get back to a semi-working construction here. XE max. Okay, so it mostly works except for this issue right here. That's all. Not a big deal, not great though. But I will be right back. I shouldn't be long. back at it. Got my coffee and everything. Good to go. I hope if there's anyone tuned in, I mean, I don't expect it usually on my first day back. It's not particularly common, and that's okay. But if there's anyone tuned in, either live or watching a VOD or something like that, thanks. I appreciate that. There's a lot I want to do this year related to the code I write, the business I'm building, and the channel stuff that, you know, I want to get professional in a lot of different ways, and yeah, just people tuning in is a nice little bit that helps, right? So that's good stuff. One step in getting professional is being more proficient with programming in general, and so I have to work really hard at that, but I'm keen to do it, and I've got a good setup that should keep my time management under control and progress relatively steady. So I'm happy about that. Just have to execute, which is fine, but it's going to be busy year for me. And you know, busy isn't always bad. It depends what you're busy with though. And I think I've got a pretty good idea going here. But I'm kind of talking really loosely about more than just this skeleton that I'm working on right now. You know, I've got goals for the year, and I want to succeed. So that's just been on my mind a lot, right? As the new year often does to people, it makes you think, right? Think about where you're at, where you want to go, and how you can do it. Realize I might be putting some uncool mouth noises into the mic. That's my bad. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's see if I can figure some of this out. So this skeleton-read thing might be actually the key to what I'm trying to do here. So if I do define atom project prompt blah blah. Oh, I need to define a valid thing here. Skeleton. That's what I need. Let's see. Let's try to run. Oh, I don't want to put it in a string, actually. I want to just run my template function with... I don't know why I'm not just copy pasting some of this. It would actually save me some time. But alas, I'm doing it the silly way. Let's try this. Skeleton-read. Enter project name. Okay. So what I think might work, what I expect, if I understand this properly, is template. The template function will attempt to run, but it needs an argument here, and once it gets to putting in that argument, it will invoke the skeleton read function, which will then prompt me to enter the string that will become the argument. So let's see if I'm correct. There's a chance that I am, there's a chance that I'm not. It has done nothing. It didn't fail, but it didn't ask me for anything either, so not sure what's up with that. Let's do empty string there. Let's run this string. Interactive skeleton. Define skeleton. Skeleton name. So this is probably the important area here, but let me try one. Let's try this again just for a minute. Hey. Looks like I figured it out anyway. Sweet. All right, so now we've eliminated that issue of it putting in the text I write in there. Okay, there we go. That pretty much handles that, which is quite nice. Quite nice, I will say. So I do wonder, is there a way that I can I just read on here, when you reach this level of complexity, you probably should consider implementing it being some function that you're trying, or some template you're trying to build. Just implement it as a normal Emacs Lisp function, which might actually make sense in my case here, because what I'm thinking through right now is, since I will have a few different templates, right, it makes sense to prompt for which template to use when you run the project skeleton function, right? So all that would be is just select from a list, but I don't know if that is beyond the scope of what skeletons are. That's the only thing. I'm a little unclear on that. So we'll figure it out though. But maybe it is good. Let's have a look at this here. So the other thing is I could start to go into, I could install packages and get different different functionality from other projects, but I don't want to go overboard here. I generally want to install as few dependencies as possible into my Emacs environment, so that if and when it has to be put on a new workstation or anything like that, it's not too much of a pain to do, you know, because I don't want to waste brain space on Emacs too much, which is just the reality of it. You know, I can't fiddle around with editors all day. Only I'll stream today, apparently. Oh boy. One thing that I hope to improve is posture this year, and my workstation setup. I want to be able to stand and code more. I think it'd be cool to have my stream setup actually be entirely on a permanently standing desk, so I can sit at a work desk when I'm not streaming, when I'm not doing videos or anything like that. But anytime I'm streaming, I am standing up every time. I wonder if that would actually be good, or if people would be annoyed watching me pace and walk around all the time. Because when I stand, I move. I'm just thinking all over the place right now, though. So let's see here if I can create some kind of skeleton that does take a little bit of unique input. So let's go here and have a little peek at that. When creating templates, you can use the @ sign to indicate positions that will be saved in the variable skeleton-positions. Here's an example. Insert a define function template. That isn't quite what I want. You know what, maybe just for curiosity's sake, I should have a quick peek at those as well. Thanks to the @ signs, these locations have been saved in skeleton-positions, making it possible to jump back and forth between the entry points. Okay. Skeleton-markers is nil. Markers for locations saved in skeleton-positions. Add hook, skeleton end, skeleton make markers. Okay. Skeleton make markers function. While there are skeleton markers, set marker pop skeleton markers nil. Set queue skeleton markers as map car. Copy the marker reverse of the skeleton positions. I don't fully understand it yet, but the code is readable at least. I know map car is equivalent to Clojure's map function. It just maps this function onto this list. So that's easy enough. Set queue, I don't understand completely yet. I'm pretty sure it's kind of, I guess it's like let, except it's not let, so I don't know what it is. That's whatever. I'll figure it out. Okay, jump to the next position in skeleton. Jump to previous. Interactive. So when does that end up getting called? Oh, I see. It doesn't. You need to bind it. Gotcha. Okay. Not a big deal, but not really what I need. So it's pretty cool though. So you can cycle through all of the different @ points that you put in with that kind of setup. Is that useful? I don't want to overthink the templates, so I'm going to say no. More information. Okay, so read the function documentation for skeleton-insert to learn about creating more complex skeletons. Okay. I wish that it linked to the website or whatever. Skeleton-insert. I'm definitely getting to the point where I'm kind of in over my head, unfortunately. So let's not. Okay, let's shift gears here then. And what I'll do is open up now. here now, since at least I have a thing that works in the way that I do want. That is really good. So I can delete that. Let's clean up this skeleton.elisp file here. Find the link where this came from. Still useful for sure. Let's get rid of that because I know I don't need it. It works without. We can get rid of the hello world, which is not needed anymore. This doesn't work either. Here, now let's do prompt the user for project name. Good enough for right now. That's definitely fine. Okay, so this skeletons.el I'm going to leave here, but I'm going to open up my config.org and add it into this section here. I haven't looked at this in a long time. I'm sure I need to clean it up quite a bit. But what this does is this whole thing gets tangled into Emacs init.el, and all this gets run like on startup. So all my settings are here where I need to. This is where I need to fix all my stuff up when I finally get the desire to do it properly. So I have worked with skeletons before here. I just don't really love the way I've done it. So there we go. For example, at least get an org header, but I don't use these ever, so I am actually just going to delete them. And I'm going to put in my new code here so that I can at least load the lib.org template, and I can change lib.org, the file, whenever I want in the dev folder, and that'll be nicely pulled in properly when I run the project template. Then over time I can just add things in from there. So that's pretty nice, if I do say so myself. So let's just get rid of this here. Clips, plugins, script inserts. Oh yes, I definitely don't want to have that anymore. It was fun, but it was messy. So I do wonder if I should keep it though for legacy purposes. You know what? I'm not going to. Decision made. Clojure, project starter. Yeah, CLJ org projects. That seems good. So use this. Okay. I use org mode and literate programming ideas to build my CLJS projects. So it is helpful to have skeletons that take .org template files that tangle into a nice Clojure project setup. These functions handle that. These functions, yeah, whatever. There we go. I don't need the rest of that. Okay, so here we go. I have a big ugly project skeleton, and I'm just gonna blast it away. So Control Shift P is what I had going before, and it inserts this whole big thing here, which was not a bad way to go, but this I think is a little bit nicer because it doesn't force the template to stay in this code here. I can make a much easier to read template elsewhere. Let's just delete that though. So, okay, so let's go for it. I'll keep the global set key in there though, and I have to remind myself from time to time what, I don't remember all my keyboard shortcuts, unfortunately. So let's just blast it away. I should maybe have utilities. I don't know. Sometimes I second guess myself about how I've set things up. Slurp. Let's do this here. Let's see if I could actually find it. Emacs slurp function. Oh. This, I think, might be where I found it. No, maybe not. Yeah. Well, I'm going to look for that later. That's not a big deal. I like to put links to where I got stuff for attribution purposes, of course, but for on my stream right now, it's not a big deal. I've got this reminding me to do it, so not a huge problem. This I can close too. I probably should learn to use one of these snippeting tools, but let's not muddy the waters today. Okay, so I have a slurp function here in my little utilities spot. That should be okay. And now here, templates, let's do a little just thinking, this is fine. If I do template reader begin source elisp like I had here. I don't like that. Oop. And I'll put this in there. Okay, should be okay. Yeah, that should be fine. Template reader, maybe a bad name, but I'm kind of gonna leave it for the time being. CLJ org lib. CLJ lib org based. Okay. Let's cut this, paste it here, and give it a better name. Define skeleton. Clojure. Actually, we'll do cljc lib skeleton. CLJC just implies it can be Clojure and or Clojure script. Lib is library, skeleton is skeleton. Prompt the user for the project name. This is not a useful doc anymore. Creates a .org or project name input. Can I do this? Use in empty file and save to desired project directory. Tangle will create project structure on save. There. Okay, that is clear enough for what I need right now. So this particular one has the lib skeleton, so templates/lib.org, and I should have another one stubbed in for project. Actually, let me do this. So there's lib, there's let's call it app for now, I guess. That's kind of what I'm thinking would be stuff like my design docs for like, basically it's just web apps at this point, and it's only front end apps too, so I have to get more specific later, but for the time being I'm going to be okay with it. And actually here, if I just call it project skeleton here and I do this, CLJC project skeleton now works. They're both going to call lib at the moment, which is fine. I'll replace and add templates as I go. No big deal. What I want to do there we go. Okay. All right, finish this up, save, close, restart Emacs, and try to use the keyboard shortcut to actually make a new project in the example folder and see if it works the way I want it to, because that'll be pretty cool. Okay. All right. Focus up, Adam. Almost there. Oops. Oop. All right, so I'm just gonna have Control Shift L, run CLJC lib skeleton, which is here, and it just runs template, enter project name, enter library name. For consistency is probably a good idea. And I can actually make it shorter. Library name, project name. Perfect. I think that's nice. Save those. Okay. So now let's kill that config. Should be good. Exit Emacs. Ooh. Save that. Yeah. Emacs. Let's see. So, there is like a refresh without rebooting Emacs keyboard shortcut. I always forget it though. That's fine. Hopefully, the startup doesn't fail. Package CL is deprecated, so I'll have to figure that one out. But I won't worry well, maybe I will worry about it. Before I do that though, I'm in the Scratch folder here. I'm gonna go right ahead and do Control-Shift-L. Ah, classic. I haven't finished editing things properly. Templates, template-reader. Of course, I changed the name of the function and did not change the calls to it. Silly me. Template reader. Template reader. So it might actually make more sense to put that in a let. You know what? I'm gonna leave it. I think it's good enough for my needs here. And I can always change it, right? It's just, the code's all right here, so it's not a big deal. Utility function should almost certainly be close to the top here. Global settings. A lot of things to fix here. Okay, not gonna worry about it. Save it. Refresh. That's not what I need. I forget what it is. I don't even know what it's called. So let's get out of that mini buffer. Save this. Kill it. We're in Scratch. Let's just do. Whoop! Come on. I don't know what even to look for. Restart Emacs from within Emacs. Okay. This is more complicated than I want. I thought there was just a... I thought there was just a, like a restart instead. Maybe it's like refresh or something instead. Call process. Oh boy, that's not what I want. Hey Lumi, how's it going? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Quick refresh maybe. This I think is what I was thinking about. Reload the Emacs file while it's running. Load file, enter. I mean, I suppose that works. Load file. And we'll go... Uh-oh. Don't know why I did that. We'll see. Let's try to run... Oh. Library name, example. Hey, there we go. That's what I wanted. Create it. Tangled. Perfect. Okay. You know what? I'm going to call that good enough for my needs at the moment. I'm going to call it okay. Hey Lumi, you can hear me all right, yeah? This mic is still kind of new for me. I don't know if it's set up perfectly. I also adjusted my desk and everything, so it just maybe things are totally out of whack on my end, but whatever. Hopefully things are fine. Right, what was I doing here? I wanted to cd into example and just double check that it did create all the structure I wanted there. It has a deps, the org file, readme, source and test. And this should just have main cljc in it. Yep. Cool. Sounds good. Okay, thanks. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. I haven't been working on Clojure today. I've been messing around a little bit with Emacs Lisp. It's messing around with it just enough to make a little template tool. So pretty happy with it so far. I just bound a little thing to what's it called? A skeleton to a keyboard shortcut, and it prompts for a library name and then puts the library name in all the spots so that I can tangle the file into the source structure nice and easily. Pretty simple, nothing crazy, but it works and I'm happy about that. Yes, I'll kill it anyway. I don't need example. Whoop. There we go. Oops, whatever. All right, so what I don't know is why the background color changed when I reloaded my init file. I'm just not gonna worry about that right now because I don't wanna think about it, to be completely honest. But I can show if I go dev templates. I just have an org file that has a replace string spot here. It's really simple. It slurps in this file, replaces this with the name that you put in. That's it. So, you know, things could go wrong, and eventually they might go wrong. In fact, I kind of expect it at some point, but I'm not worried about it for right now because it's good enough to just make project starts a little bit smoother, a little less tedious. That's really all I needed for right now anyway, so I'm happy with that. So admin stuff would be like to do and roadmap. Some tasks that need to be done on this project. Roadmap, some features. Some features that are planned for implementation. Sure, good enough. This is just the template, but so now that I made the changes to the template file itself, if I go back to the scratch buffer here and run that library name again, let's do org mode. Oop, there we go. It right away incorporated the change to the template in there nice and easily. So I had some skeletons defined earlier, but where are they? Emacs skeleton mode, I think. The way you write a skeleton is this kind of annoying, in my opinion, annoying. It's just strings, and to make a skeleton for a whole org file like that was really tedious and hard to edit. So it's nice that I can slurp in a file and just edit it and put in all the boilerplate I want. I think I'm pretty proud of that. Simple little change, but I do like it. So that was a nice little win as I'm starting to stream again. Anyway, I'm just talking about kind of nothing right now. Hope that's okay with anyone watching. Hope Illumi, if you're still there, hope your holidays, if you had any holiday stuff going on, I hope that all went well for you. And I hope you're doing well in general. Let's see here. Let's just kill this. Kill this. No. Let's just close Emacs. I don't know why I'm wasting my time. Doesn't elisp support multi-line string literals? It might, Lumi. Here the cold hard truth about my knowledge of elisp is that there isn't much at all. I I know about this thing called skeleton mode. I read this little bit of the wiki here, and I used it to make something that works. Elisp, I'm sure you're right. It does support multi-line string literals. The last time I used a skeleton, I tried that and it didn't work, if I recall. But I don't know. Either way, the way I have it set up now, where I can open up the template file and just treat it as an org file directly, in my opinion, is really quite helpful. Like, I get all the power of the org mode stuff just up front anyway, and then the skeleton like this is all handled by elisp on its own anyway, so I really have nothing to worry about, you know? So I figured this is good enough, but probably you're right about multi-line string literals, and probably that would work in a skeleton. I don't know. I haven't tried recently. My goal is not to be an elisp expert. My goal is to be more comfortable in elisp so that I can build my own little functions just a little better than I currently can. It's not hard. I just have never really spent the time doing it. And this is kind of a cool starting spot. It's changed a lot recently. Might not have been a thing 10 years ago. Well, so the last time I tried was probably 2 years ago. So it may or may not have been a thing there. I honestly, I just don't know. But yeah, who knows? Like I said, my goal is just to raise my comfort level with elisp so that I can build just slightly more intelligent configs and mini automations to my own workflow, you know? Because, you know, we're in a new year now, so one of my themes, if you will, for the year is I want to raise the bar for my own expectations and become more professional in how I do my development work. You've probably seen it on some streams here and there. There's a lot that I don't know. There's a lot I'm not confident in, and that's fine, but I want to sand off the edges of, you know, my amateurness a little bit and just raise my professionalism. And so it's not about being perfect with elisp, it's about being good enough with it to maximize workflow effectiveness, and just be more confident with the languages that I do intend to use more thoroughly. So Clojure, Clojure script, probably Python if I'm honest, you know, stuff like that. But that's all related to year-long themes, you know, so just starting today, I'm still pretty much the same person, you know. A lot to learn, which is fine. It's a lot of fun. Yes, I'll kill this. I don't need it. Let's see, what time is it here? So I've got about 20 minutes left in this stream, this first stream after the holidays, you know. What did I have planned? Oh, what was it? Oh, right. So, now this I'm really fresh. I might be totally off base with even how I begin to approach it. Let's see here, Lumi. It's very easy to get lost in learning all the technologies and tools. A lot of productive devs I know just focus on the absolute minimum too, and I'd certainly call that professional. Many just use IDEs and don't worry about that at all. Yeah, Lumi, that makes a lot of sense. So it's a little, I want to approach my tooling in a similar way. I want the tooling to work for me. I don't want to work for the tools, right? And so that makes a ton of sense to just use IDEs. In fact, I do every once in a while consider switching over to a fully nicely configured IDE. Maybe this year that becomes part of the plan. But in the meantime, the way I approach using Emacs, I don't mind doing some customization, but I don't want to do tons and tons and tons of it, because at some point it's totally wasting time, and it becomes this crazy tool that, it just seems excessive to say the least. But when I first started learning Clojure, all of the online tutorials I found, everyone was using Emacs. So I just kind of figured, you know what, at the very least, it's good to learn and get comfortable with Emacs just so that I know what people are talking about. And since that's how I started with it, I just kind of stuck with it. And now I'm integrated enough that I like using it. So, but I've considered switching to full-on IDEs and just not worrying about anything other than the color scheme and just leaving it, because then there's that whole space in your head that is totally free. But anyway, what I was going to try and see if I could actually wrap my head around, other elements in becoming more professional are, well, two main things come to mind with Clojure is I absolutely need to do testing. So an intelligent amount of unit testing, an appropriate amount of integration testing, and spec. Those are two things I need to be way more comfortable in than I am. I've brought them up plenty of times before, and I've honestly just not given them the dedication and time that I need to. I'm certainly not going to get that done in 20 minutes on stream today, but I was wondering if I could find some kind of tutorial for setting up automated testing that is really easy. I'm sure it's not hard, but I don't know what I'm doing. So let's see if I can figure something out. Let's open up the stylo library, because talking about professionalism, this library, the SVG rendering tools that I'm building, this is the one that I'm going to bring to a version 1.0 and put like an MIT license on and put it out on GitHub and just get opinions, get feedback, pull requests, all that stuff. So in order to get that to a point where people can actually read the code, I have to apply some serious polish to it. So the nice thing is that I basically don't want to add any features to it. I just want to make it professional. So I figure if I could just stub in 20 minutes, I could start to stub in some automated testing stuff. Then I can get that ball rolling pretty nicely. So we'll see what I can do. Who knows? This is almost certainly a thing better done off stream. It'll be less embarrassing for me that way, but you know what? If you get embarrassed enough, you kind of become immune to the whole to the whole embarrassment thing, which is maybe not always good, but sometimes it's helpful to not worry too much. So let's just click Clojure Docs and have a little look here. So this kind of stuff I've done before. I understand this, but what I really kind of want is, well, actually, I don't even know what I want. Do I want it to, I don't know. Do I want it to, open up a REPL and it just, on any change to files, it reruns tests? I'm not sure. I don't even know what to search for here exactly. Automated testing, tutorials points, not always that helpful. I don't want to do browser automation. Testing in Clojure, unit testing. Let's see if this is helpful in any way. Testing a web app. There are tools to run only affected tests by keeping track of the code dependencies in Clojure. Midge is the library. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly, but Midge. Let's see. That sounds kind of like what I want here. Let's see what I can learn in a few minutes here. Thanks, by the way, for pointing me in that direction. You know, talking about professional, Lumi, you almost always have some good insights and advice. You are a professional Clojure dev in the real sense of the word. So that sometimes I'm nervous, you know, because I'm not necessarily the most intelligent Clojure dev there is, but it turns out that you being in the stream from time to time is actually really helpful. Audio gone? Never mind on my end. Oh. Oh boy. You had me worried there for a second. Everything looked fine. I was really confused, but hopefully you can get it fixed or have it fixed. Let's see. Already fixed? Perfect. Glad to hear it. I don't know if you heard it. I was just saying pulled out a wire accidentally. The classic. You go like this or something and I've been there. I don't know if you heard it. I was just saying it is nice that you are a professional dev in the real sense of the word. Unless things have changed or unless I'm misremembering, you develop Clojure applications as your work, right? Anyway, it is really valuable when you have some advice and stuff like that in the chat. I do honestly appreciate it. I get nervous coding sometimes in front of people like yourself because there's a lot that I just don't know, and it's almost embarrassing, you know? It's not embarrassing enough for me to stop doing it, but oh boy, part of this year is getting that professionalism up so that I just feel more confident in building a business out of this, right? So anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying I appreciate your input when you provide it. So thank you. Let's see about Midge for a minute. To make tests more readable, it makes them look like examples. Okay. It uses facts. That's pretty cool, actually. Just as readable, but machine checkable. Fact: all values are treated as true, except for false and nil. Simple enough. User auto test. It loads the changed files and any deps, but you do still have a REPL prompt. That means you can still move rapidly and smoothly among typing at the REPL, try out code samples, or to look up documentation. Yeah, all that stuff. Having your editor send code to the REPL, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay, this is kind of exactly what I had in my brain, so this might be perfect. Tutorial for a Clojure test user. So I'll probably just stick with one. Midge might be the one, but it's probably still important for me to know how to use Clojure.test. I like to stay as close as reasonably possible to, just the normal or the quote-unquote official Clojure tooling. Not that it matters all that much, but probably a good idea. All right, let's just go through this quickly. All right, so let's add the lean, or let's Wait a second. I'm not using lean, so what's the Clojures? Here we go. Wouldn't worry about comparing yourself too much. Personality differences mean individuals have differences, and there are sure devs that are super optimized and can do 14-hour work days, 6 days a week without getting stressed at all. That doesn't mean they are just as creative or as good planners or big picture planners. Lumi, that is absolutely true. Yeah, and the way I'm talking, maybe it sounds like I'm super worried about this kind of stuff. I don't want to come across as I feel, how do I say this? Every year I'm more and more comfortable with who I am as a person, right? Like you say, everyone has their own personality, and I I like my own personality. I mean, I'm stuck with it anyway, so I may as well like it. So it's not as if I am like really upset or anything, but I do want to put in a little bit of growth goal, if you want to call it that. So I'm not desperate and I'm not freaking out or anything. I'm just recognizing some areas where I feel like I can achieve a good improvement, and that is exciting. But I guess maybe the way I'm communicating it makes it sound bad, but I don't think it's bad. And you're absolutely right. Individual personalities are, everyone's got one, and I think we should be proud of how different we are, right? Not try to all become the same. As for 14-hour workdays, you know what? Even if I could do it, I'm not sure that I would want to. That's a lot of that's a lot of work. I got other things I want to do. Got all kinds of stuff to do. Like I like fitness a lot, and I even have these I have these rings hanging here so that I can work out, just in between things here and there. I do drawings and stuff. I want to fill this whole wall with drawings. I can't be programming all day. I got stuff to do. Other things to do, friends to see, That was just my point. Yeah. Totally. It makes perfect sense. And I want so I like the idea of I like doing a lot of different things. Some people like really really hyper focusing, and that's totally cool. But I really love kind of dipping my fingers into all kinds of things. And I'm a happier person when I can do things that way. Okay. This here I'm going to try adding into this and messing around with it because that might be fun. Oh man, I have to clean up this project. there's deps in here that I don't use. I don't even remember why I had Ubergraph in here. I think I was just messing around with stuff. But again, this is the target library to polish right up and get it on my GitHub, because you know what? I feel like that'll be a fun thing for me to do. It'll look nice anyway, that I could actually ship some kind of library. That'll be good. Good milestone. Version. Is this the most? Yeah, it looks like it. All right. You know what? I'm happy with that. Save that. Tangle it in. All right. Let's see if I launch a REPL here, cider jack in. See if it'll actually download that and work for me here. While that's going, I'm gonna head to the washroom for a minute. I will be right back. I won't be long. I do promise. There we go. And that be right back screen, I'm still proud of it. You know, the animation hitches. Oh, it even glitches out entirely when I switch to it. But I mean, I made that with my own SVG libraries and stuff. I'm proud of that. It's pretty cool. More of that to come. Those animations are fun to do too. I like that a lot. Okay. REPL is up. Messing. Oh, let's just call it midge, and we'll make a. Oh, come on. Some things I don't quite like about how org mode works by default. I don't like that it indents things like that. I run out of horizontal space if it indents like crazy. It's no fun. Okay, so let's do I'm actually guessing here. Project. For historical reasons. Midge is this. Hello there, Jake Brent Caskel. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Helio? I'm assuming that's a conglomeration of hey and hello or something like that. What brings you to the stream here? I'm not familiar with your screen name, to be honest. You might be new around here. Hope you're doing well. All right, let's get something going here. Oh, I see. I was thinking this was important. Let's just do stylo test and call it good for now. Oh. Clojure, please. Do I know anything about NPM? I'll be honest, I don't know a ton. Are you having troubles with NPM? Are you looking for advice and stuff like that? Because I'll tell you right up front, you would definitely find better information through Googling and Stack Overflow and stuff. Have no idea how to use it. What are you trying to do actually? If it's something extremely simple, I might be able to throw you in a useful direction or try something out. But trying to install a project. Do you know the project name? npm package install, right, is probably what you're looking at. Oh, you solved it. Huh, there you go. Nice. Well, there you go. Nice how that works. Glad you figured that one out. I don't even know if I do have NPM, I'm sure. What are you working on? Just out of curiosity, what kind of project you got going? I do have NPM. You know what? NPM, I write Clojure and Clojure script stuff, so surely some of the Clojure script things I've had to use NPM for before, and various node things. But I'm not like, I'm more like the tutorial told me to do this, this, and this, and it worked, so. You're not done yet? Hey Biz, how are you? What do you mean not done yet? Not done what yet? Streaming? My project? Well, there's always more work to do. I've got a lot of different things going on, unfortunately. Well, I mean, I think it's fortunate, but it's been keeping me a little bit slower than I want to be on things. But no, I'm not done yet. that's the reality of it. I hope that's okay with you there, Biz. uh, that's just the way things have gone for me lately. You know. Let's You know what? I'm not going to require anything right now. I'm going to just try that. See if that'll work. How are your projects going, Biz? Making good progress on your end with things? Still working on mine? Nice. Yeah, you know, things... I don't know about you, but things that I really care about doing, I have it's sometimes a bad thing where I like there's a level of quality and understanding and time I want to take on a thing that is maybe erring a little close on the side of perfectionism, and that can be a big problem. It can slow things down a bit. But if I go too fast, they're too sloppy, right? So I struggle to balance between those points sometimes. But I'll tell you that this year is the year where I'm specifically focusing on building out a viable business with code projects and stuff like that. So I'm bringing up the professional level, and I'm super serious about that. So you know what? If I'm capable of executing, this will be the year that it starts to happen. So working hard, working quick, but working professionally. Those are all hopefully the goals. We'll see how it goes. But glad to hear that you're working on yours there, Biz. Hope that's going well for you. Okay. I don't have a ton of time left today. I've probably got 10, 12 minutes yet. So can't stay for too long, but like to hear what people are working on, you know? Okay. Checkables. Suppose you were writing, you wanted to explain conj. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. All right. The arrows, blah, blah, blah. Midge follows that. Oh, this is interesting, actually. Huh. Is that going to work? Maybe I'm misunderstanding this, but I'm going to be a maverick here and just paste. Whoa. That's cool. Huh. I'm genuinely intrigued by that. That's really neat. Wait, so can I do one arrow 1, one arrow 2? Oh, it's not. Okay, so okay, so I have to wrap that. That's just some syntactic stuff. I have to wrap it in a... Oh, there's even semantics with the arrows. That's cool. I guess I have to wrap it in a expect macro. I'm assuming it's a macro. Let's see here. Hey, didn't work. Oh, I'm not reading. I have to pay attention. That is not what I was... That's not right. I also might just be a little off base here with this use midge thing here. Might not be working the way I expect. All right, let's see. Checkables cannot be checked in isolation. Okay, fair enough. The smallest checkable unit is the fact. That name is a gesture towards what we really want, to be able to make claims about our code, strong in mathematical facts. Makes sense. Oh, this seems pretty cool. Okay, checking facts. Functions buggy. Yeah, that's fine. Well, okay, let's run fact. Can I do that? Let's try to run fact on this bit here. True. Ah, okay. There we go. So if I now run fact 1 goes to 2, it's not true? Fail. Ah, okay. Huh. That is really cool. Okay, let's actually write those down just to capture that in here for a moment. Fact conj 1, 2, 3 ends up as 1, 2, 3. I don't know that I'm even like speaking about it all properly, but that's okay. And so true. Fact 1 ends up as 2 is obviously false. Okay. So nested facts. What's my time here? 5 minutes. All right, I don't have a ton of time left for right now, but that's, that's okay. This is my first stream back after holidays. I'm feeling pretty good. I actually accomplished something on the elisp side of things, which is nice. Got a few people in the chat, which is nice too. I always appreciate that. That is always fun for me, Always glad when people pop on in and ask questions or share projects. That stuff is always great. Okay, auto test. This is kind of what I want to wrap my head around too. Auto test tool starts with one test run that checks everything, but doesn't exit. It then watches source. Okay. REPL tools. Boy, there's quite a bit for me to learn here. Well, you know what? I didn't expect to learn it all in 15 minutes on a stream, so I'm not too beat up about not knowing all this yet. The end of the second command, both sets of namespaces are in the compendium. Huh. Integration tests only. Load non-integration tests. Makes sense. Wow. This is pretty cool. If I just run check facts. Okay, that's not. Yeah, okay. So there's still a little bit I have to figure out with no match. Okay, so auto test presumably is in another namespace, I guess. Let's head back over here. Auto test. Auto testing in the REPL. Okay, this here. Use midge REPL. Oh, Lumi, Midge demonstrates some of the more advanced things you can do with Clojure. It even uses reader macros. Oh man, that's cool. So just like even just a moment ago, I was just copying and pasting stuff from the beginner tutorial, and this here is pretty cool. It's not Lisp syntax, but whatever, it's fine. I thought this was pretty cool. Even that works. And then expect, haven't loaded everything properly, but the fact stuff, even just the basic stuff of Midge is pretty fun so far. So this seems like a pretty good tool to wrap my head around. And it's nice that it uses advanced Clojure features, because once I'm comfortable using them, then I can start to dive into understanding how they work more thoroughly and stuff like that. Oh. Huh. Well, okay. That's fine. It's fine. Execution. Okay, so Midge REPL and Midge Suite are a little bit different, I guess, eh? Yeah. Right, so I'll figure it all out. It is about time for me to go. I have to go do a workout very soon, so I think I'm probably going to call it for the day. You know what? 2 hours, 8 minutes, it says on my stream. That's a good first stream back. I'm happy with that. All right. I am going to get going. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I always appreciate that. I will be back streaming on a regular schedule, so I should be back around 2 p.m. tomorrow, which is Tuesday, right? Yeah. And Thursday and Friday again. And as time progresses, that schedule might have to change. I've got a lot of work ahead of me the next coming months. But in the meantime, I think it's still fine to work on that schedule. I also am considering I might stream completely unrelated stuff tonight and occasionally just for fun as little side experiments. No need for anyone to actually tune in to those. They're not going to be programming related anyway, so no pressure. I'm just verbalizing it because I had the idea in my head, and yeah, I think it might be fun. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm going to get going, and I'll be back tomorrow. So thanks, everyone. I hope you all have a good day/evening, and I hope to see you around again soon. All right. I will be out. Goodbye.